handball unapata either ni watu wachache kidogo ndio wako experts in playing the handball. So only the field tu ndio kuna changamoto kidogo. With the area of searching for a girl to marry, I got a deaf girl I wanted to marry. I invited her to my house. Na nikaangalia behavior zake, nikawei whether she could cook, whether she could wash. It was very hard. It was very hard for me, let me say that. I decided to leave her. And remember, from Brazil, the clothes were really dirty that I had used them in Brazil. So I had kept a huge pile of clothes there. And then I asked her to wash for me. And then she also brought some food for me. And I decided to take her. And imagine, she's hearing and I am deaf.
Pia kwa, ukikuja kwa nyumba ya mtu, ujue unaangaliwa mask. Sindio? So unaweza kuja na kierere yako, ukose kufua nguo, ukose kuja na shauri zako. Hivyo ndivyo utaachwa. Back and it's another episode. Nikawaambia tutakuwa tunawaletea guest wenye you are learning something from the guest, and tukasema kuwa we have fun in the show. Tunashukuru God kwa this day because we are able to come to the show and to listen to you people and you people to listen to us. We learn from each other. And at this show, I want to welcome you people. Tuko na guest wengine hapa. Tunataka waongeleshe, you learn from them. And we believe that at the end of this show, we are going to learn something from our guest. So, as usual, my name is Karen Wanjera. Nimevaa orange top. Burnt orange. And a black jeans and yellow shoes. So karibuni sana and let us enjoy the show. Wacha to have fun in the show. Learn something from the show and tell us what you'd want us to discuss the next time we have the same show. So tukasema kuwa October ilikuwa month ya awareness of deaf awareness. Na tuka celebrate October vizuri sana. We enjoyed the month and we thank God for that. We are in another month. We should be enjoying this month because this month tuna enjoy kwa sababu we are alive and tunaweza sema kuwa it is tumeanza na sporty sporting activities kwa the month of November. So we welcome you. Let us be sporty. Tuvae sporty hivi, tutembee sporty hivi, and we will enjoy the show so much. So I'm privileged to have a guest with me. The last show yenye ilipita tulikuwa na madem kwa show. This time round tumechange. Tumekuletea gentlemen in the house and lakini tumebalance because naona tuko madem wawili. So karibuni, let us enjoy the show. Let us know our guests, their names, nini wamevaa, and what they do. Yes, tuko madem watatu on the show. So let us know our guest. Karibuni.
Thank you. My name is Isaac Atima. I am the captain for athletics and also the overall team Kenya for the deaf sports. I've come here to represent Team Kenya. I'm wearing a black trouser, a red shirt with some black patterns, and orange shoes. I am also a very tall guy with black hair, and I am dark-skinned. About being handsome, I'm not sure. Maybe my wife knows whether I am handsome or not. Yeah, thank you.
Welcome, welcome.
My name is Jacinta Njeri, and I have a sign name. This is my sign name. I am a player for golf. I'm dressed in a red tracksuit with some green color and red, and I'm wearing a black trouser, white shoes with some black stripes. Thank you, Caroline. My name is Joel Kilo, and I have a sign name. This is my sign name. I am the handball captain for the deaf, and I'm representing Team Kenya and also Africa in general, because we became number 1 in Africa, so we are going to represent also the Africa. I'm wearing a red tracksuit, that is the coat, with some black stripes, white and green. I'm also wearing black trouser, and red and green shoes. Thank you.
So, umesikia tuko na wazito kwa show. So tuko na representative wa Africa, si rahisi wajameni. Congratulations sana, and we are proud to have them in the show. Tuko na inaitwa nini? Golf. Mnasemanga hatuchezi golf. Mumeona? Nimewaletea leo mtu anacheza golf na ni person with disability. Tunacheza golf. She played golf. Tunasemanga ni game ya wazito, game ya wenye wako na mado Usicheze na hiyo game. Hiyo game hii lazima utuambie venye uliingia kwa hiyo game. Hai. Tuko na big fish in the house. Unasikia anacheza nini? Hebu acheni mchezo nini. So tuko na pia the captain. The captain wa athletics. So mnaona nimewaletea watu wazito kwa hii. Msiseme mimi ni mtu mwepesi wajameni, hata mimi mnipigie makofi. Our viewers. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you so much to our guest. Tunataka tujue our guest wetu ndio waingie sport. Uliamka tu asubuhi ukasema mimi naenda kucheza nini? Handball, mimi naenda kukimbia. No. What happened to them ndio waingie kwa sport. Walijipata tu wako na hiyo talent ya sport in activity, ama alitoka utotoni akafunzwa hii ni talent yako, let us move on with your talent, or what happened for them to be in Team Kenya. They are representing our country, Team Kenya, and we are so proud of them. And nimewaambia leo nimewaletea guest wazito wenye ukitembea hivi na ringa we goja tu tutaonana hapo nje nyuma ya tent, tutaongea about how. So for now wacha tujue guest wetu vizuri kabisa, how they joined sport, and utotoni ulizaliwa ukiwa deaf ama uli acquire. Yes, we can start anyhow.
Thank you again. Before I talk, I've already informed you my name, and I come from a very remote village in Kisii, and I wish one day, Carol, you come and visit our village, because I think God created our village the last. But I'm happy to be here. I'm very excited to be here. And first, I come from a family of 6, 4 boys and 2 girls. I am the firstborn in our family, and I'm very happy because of that family, because all the others are younger than me, and today I'm here being a role model to them. If they see me, they get very proud of me. When I grew up, as I was growing up, I had experienced so many challenges. I was born hearing. I could hear very well, and I could talk very well. And then when I was in class 4, I think it was in class 4, that is when I got sick. And my parents took me to the hospital. And when we got to the hospital, I was very young. I can't really tell what really happened. And the hospital could not really get what the issue was. I went back home, and I stayed at home very sick, and that's how I lost my hearing. So sometimes, my family members could speak, but I could just look at them. It was hard for me to understand what they were saying. I had even left school. I had to leave school for some time and stay at home. I went on with life there in the village without going to school for a very long time, because I was wondering, my ears had already closed. I could speak very well, but I could not hear anything. Then one day, my uncle, I don't know what happened, but he married a deaf lady. And when he married this deaf lady, she could sign very well. And then that lady is the one who said that there was a deaf school around. And then I could not really understand, but they took me to that school. The school was Kuja School for the Deaf. When I got to Kuja School for the Deaf, it was amazing. I almost disappeared. I got shocked. Because imagine, I'm in class 4, I was in a hearing school, and then I went to class 7 at Kuja. I could not read. Even sign language, I didn't have any basic sign language. It was very hard for me because everyone was signing. And then I was wondering, I've been taken to this school, and I missed some very easy things. But I didn't have even any motivation to be in that school. I wanted to run away, but I tried to be patient. And then I met a friend in school who really supported me and assisted me. For around 2 weeks, I was able to learn sign language. And then life progressed. In class 8, I passed. I can say I performed very well. And I expected to get good sponsorship, but I didn't get it. I think it was back in 2012. I was the best in that school, but I did not get any sponsorship that could support my education. But my parents tried their best. I joined the high school, Form 1, Form 2. And then I woke up one day, and one of my ears opened. I could hear some movements. And then I decided to ask the principal for permission to go home. I stayed at home, I had fun, and then I decided to come back to school. Because now, when I was wondering, will I really go back to a hearing school? I decided to stay in a deaf school. That is when I was in Form 2. At that time, I was not participating in sports. I was focusing on my education, because my father was a very harsh man. When I gave him my results, it was very tough. Sometimes angekwambia hakuna kukula, we toka, umeanguka, we toka. So, but because when I passed, he could smile. So the time I was in Form 2, I was competing with my classmates. And one of my classmates pushed me. And there's one teacher by the name Opondo Odile. He bet me, I think, very hard. he really pushed me to compete in athletics. But I was trying. I was not running very well. I was running without shoes. But I became the best. And that time, I had not trained at all. I tried then until when we had I got to the national level. That time, I felt that I can work better in sports. When I was in Form 3, I became the school head boy. And that's how my leadership skills started. When I was done with Form 4, I passed very well, and I joined the university. At the university, I became the captain for athletics. And that's how my life started now taking a different twist in sports. I came to Nairobi in 2017. And at first, I lost. But I did not give up. And I remember in 2017, when I came to Nairobi, nobody knew me. Even my parents didn't know that I had come to Nairobi. So I came and slept outside in town. I slept somewhere outside in town. And in the morning, we had some competitions at Kasarani. And after the competitions were done, I went now to my friend's place. That is where I went to sleep. And I was selected to participate, to represent the country. And I remember I did very well. I was given around 55,000, yes, 55,000 Kenyan shillings. And I didn't know how to spend this money. So I took all that money and gave it to my parents. And that time, when my father saw that money, now that is the time he accepted me to join the sports. At first, he didn't want me to participate in any sport activity. He was always talking about joining university, focusing on education. He was saying people in sports are very stupid. They can't get anything. But I tried, and I tried my best to change that perspective. Because he was always looking for where is this money coming from. I was looking about where I came from. I was coming from a very humble background. And that's how now my story progressed up to date, and I'm proud to be here to lead as a team captain and to lead as the overall team captain for the Team Kenya. I'm going to speak more later.
Wow, interesting story. Mumesikia. And our captain, metoka Kisii County. And the governor of Kisii County is my very good friend, Mr. Simba Arati. Najua una watch. And he was my MP wakati wa alikuwa Kawangware. So he's a good guy, I know that. And when you go back home, say hi to him. Mwambie amesalimiwa na Karo sana. He knows me very well. Let us go back to our guest, tusikie Njeri. Karibu.
For me, I'm still a student. I'm in high school. In our family, we have so many challenges because we have 2 deaf people in our family. When I was young, I joined a hearing school, and I could not talk with anyone or interact with anyone because I could not hear what they were saying. I proceeded with my education, but my parents were wondering, why is this girl always quiet? And they decided now to take me to the hospital, and that's when they realized I was deaf, and they took me to Ngala School for the Deaf. When I went to Ngala School for the Deaf, I have been learning very well, and I studied very well. I was passing very well, performing very well in my education, until when I was in class 4 or 5, around there, I was not participating in any sports, but I started participating in sports, especially athletics. I got certificates. And my parents, because they had a lot of challenges, I didn't have shoes. They could just pay the school fees, but I could still go to competitions without shoes. I was just patient until when I was in class 7. I think it was in 2022. Now, there's one teacher who was selecting students to go for sports. And the teacher selected me, and I didn't even know where I was going. But the teacher took me to Nakuru Golf Club. And I didn't know, I could only see golf on TVs. I could see people, the caddies, carrying the bags for the golfers. So that is when I started learning about golfing, and I became an expert. But in school, we missed a lot of the trainings. Only when, during the lunch breaks, that is when we usually go for the golfing. And when schools close, when I go back home, I just stay at home. And we have a coach. His name is Shem. He always tells me that he needs to pick me because he needs to take me for training, for competitions for the young golfers. And most of the times when we compete, I've won some trophies, and I've also been awarded some good funds, and I've been quite excited. And I thank Shem for the support that he has always granted me. I was in class 8. I was done with class 8. And then I was taken to Mombasa for hearing competitions in Mombasa for golf. And my parents, they only support me, especially the transport alone. That is the support they have been giving me. There's also a lady by the name Nancy. And Nancy has always supported me by buying uniforms for me, buying clothes for me, and helping me even to get the equipment that are needed during the competition. When I was done with class 8 after doing the KCSE, I got good results after KCPE. And my parents wanted me to continue with high school. They asked me which school I would prefer. I said I would prefer Mumia School for the deaf. And the coach also asked me, which school would you like to go? I said Mumias. They said, Mumias is quite far. And sometimes I always call you for competition. So if you go to Mumias, that will be very difficult for us to be calling you for the coach for the trainings. Then they asked me if I can still continue with high school at Ngala, School for the Deaf. I was hesitant at first, but they really begged me. I was still hesitant, but later I had just to accept. So I joined Ngala, School for the Deaf, and the coach always picks me every Sunday and takes me for the trainings at the Ngala at the Nakuru Golf Club. But in high school, you know, when you just get the training once in a while, it's not easy. But I have to be patient because I'm also a student and in school. So anytime the coach calls me, sometimes we have to go to Eldoret. After trainings, I have to get back to school. So I have to balance all the education and also balance the trainings. And my parents have always been concerned and worried with the trainings because I miss the trainings because the school will not allow me to go for trainings during weekdays. They only allow me to go for the trainings on Sundays. So I always go for those trainings and compete with the hearing people. And right now, I'm in Form 2. Yes, right now I'm in Form 2. And I still continue with my trainings. I even didn't know that we had the Deaflympics coming, but I kept on training, and I was shocked when we had some deaf people who visited our school, and then they asked me whether I was a golfer. I said yes. They asked me how is my HQ or my HQ index, and I said I told them my index for the golf, and then they told me that we want to travel with you to Tokyo, and they decided to pick me and now join the trainings. And our coach has been quite helpful, quite supportive, and I want to really appreciate him for picking me, for even taking me to the camp. I was very excited to come to the camp and find other deaf people. So currently we are focusing on the trainings. But when it comes to our uniforms, we don't have. But it's only the coach that has been supporting me with the uniforms that I use during the trainings.
Niliwaambia, we are learning something each and every day. And nikawambia, nimewaletea wale wasi. Sitaki kuongea mob. Na vile tuko na guest in the house, sitaki ni mimi naongea sana. I want to give them their time so that they can tell us more and more about themselves. So nikawambia kuwa our guest ana play golf. And you can imagine venye tunasemanga, it is very expensive. Ni very expensive. Hiyo game ni expensive. Ni ukweli ni ya wale wase masonko, na unasikia ni mwanafunzi ambaye anacheza hiyo game. So mnaona ni possible. Everything is possible. Tunashina tukuambia kwa this show that you just need to believe in yourself. Put some effort on what you believe, and everything will come. Ita come tu na iflow vizuri. Usifiche mtoto wako mwenye ako na disability kwa nyumba. Any disability. Expose your child to each and every activity yenye. Ukiona huyo mtoto anaweza kuimba sana, ebu nurture that talent. I always tell you people that talent huwa inalipa. It pays. Your talent can pay you. So if at all mtoto anapenda kucheza inaitwa nini? Basketball, volleyball, any game that they love, handball, ebu nurture that child. Nurture that child to be the best that they can. And I believe that utakuwa na keti chini unasema, you see, kama si ningeshikilia mtoto wangu huyu mwenye anacheza handball, saizi singekuwa nasema niko hapa. From the two guests tumesikia, it's about support from the parent. We really insist on this. Kila kati tukua kwa show tunawaambia, show love to your child. Mostly to child with disability. Because we buy that love in another way outside there. Na tungetaka. So we have that guest. Wacha tumsikie pia.
Thank you, Caroline. Thank you for inviting us to your interview. Personally, I was born deaf. And I said it's okay. I went to a school that had a mixture of the deaf and the hearing, but I could not understand the way they could speak. You know, I loved kwenda uko kwa tule tumiti. Unajua vile unakata tumiti una count 1, 2, 3. We were always being told to bring that from home. When I was doing the exams, I did not perform really well because my parents didn't know that there was any deaf school. But one friend of my parents, they told them that there was a school for the deaf. And they said there's Machakos, there's Nakuru, there's Nyandarua school for the deaf. But my parents picked Machakos school for the deaf. When I got into the school, I found, amazing. So there are many deaf people around. I thought I was the only deaf person. But I started learning sign language. I started with the alphabets, that is A, B, C, D, and I could laugh even at myself because I was wondering, what is this? B, what is this? How can you tell me this is a B? I was really, C. But I was a very clever student in class. I tried my best, and then I got all the experience of the sign language. And my parents really supported me very well up to class 8. I performed very well. On the sports, I really loved football. It was my favorite sport. Basketball, handball, volleyball, I was not interested in them. Even my dad really loved football. And he watched football so much in the house. Even myself, personally, I could follow him. And when I was done with class 8, I went to high school. Form 1 was good. I was interacting very well. But the school, even the deaf people knew that I loved football. I could interact with the students very well. Then we could even perform very well up to the nationals. Form 1, that is when I started now the football, because I was an expert in that. As life proceeded, when I was in Form 3, I saw deaf handball. And I was like, what is handball? How do you even throw a ball using your hands? I could feel like it's going to break my hand. I was not interested in it. Then one deaf person really encouraged me and told me it's an easy sport. I try it. Then when I completed Form 4, one deaf person really pushed me, come for handball trainings. I told him, no, I only want football. That is where I am skilled at. Then one time, we had the African Championships at Ivory Coast. I really tried, and then we didn't get the opportunity even to go for football. I gave up. I decided even to give up in sports and leave it because I've always been spending a lot of money in transport, going for trainings. I gave up. Then one time, one man in the federation by the name Ansend asked me, can you come for handball trainings? And I told them, I've never trained. I'm not an expert in handball, so how is it even done? But I decided to give it a try. Then, you remember in high school, they were saying you can start even being a goalkeeper. But I decided, let me try to be a goalkeeper because I had the experience of being a goalkeeper in football. I did all the trainings very well. And in 2018, that is when we went to Brazil. And in 2019, I also thought about it. The players were not doing very well. We didn't have a center player. And I decided to take over and play at the center. And from that time, I became the best player in handball, even than in football. So I love handball very much. I see football and handball. If I compare the two, I love handball most because in handball, there are so many things that you can do. You can use your hands. And from that time up to date, that's how I joined sporting activities.
We, tulisema tukue wana sporti sisi wote. Mumeona? So, thank you so much our guest. Na tukasema kuwa everything is possible. Hiyo ni kitu yenye tuna insist. Everything is possible. Your effort and to believe in yourself. Those two things. So, from our guest, mumesikia, each and every guest is saying, my parent, my parent. So, parent, you have a very huge responsibility to take care of your children, encourage them in everything they do, and also nurture them, nurture the talent that mtoto wako ako nayo. So most of the time unapata wazazi huwa tuna kuanga na hii nini ya mtoto for children with disability tunakuwa so close to them that tumesikia nani alikuwa anataka kwenda shule, and we have had that parent wake hawakutaka aende mbali na yeye because they want to be close to the child. Yes, I know you are protecting your child because they have a disability. But at the end of the day, muachilie aende, ajue what happens in the other world. Kama hayuko na wewe, ako na somebody else. So can we encourage our children to go out there, wajue what they can do, what they can be best in, and tutaendelea vizuri. So back to our guest, I want us to learn the easy sports zenye wanafanya. Most of the time najua tuko na maswali sana kwa kama hii handball na handball ya able bodied in quotes note nafanyanga hivi sana. Handball ya able-bodied in quotes na handball ya deaf. The difference, nini inafanya, kuna any difference? Does it mean hiyo rim inaletwa chini kidogo because we are deaf? Does it mean inapandishwa juu? Does it mean that uwanja inakuwa dogo? Hizo ni vitu zenye tungetaka atuambie. Yes.
Okay, thank you. For the deaf and the hearing, we are all equal. The fields for the Deaflympics are very huge. And zetu hapa Kenya ni dogo. Yeah. But ukiangalia za hearing ziko kubwa pia kiasi. The fields, especially in the Deaflympics, ziko dogo kidogo. Unapata the hearing wanapewa some very spacious fields. But the level ni the same. Na hearing na deaf wote wako the same. It's all about the mentality. Because deaf wako na minds zao, they are very clever. Unapata pia kuna makosa wachezaji ufanya. Pia the hearing kuna makosa wao ufanya wakicheza. So si wote tuko to the same. For the handball unapata either ni watu wachache kidogo ndio wako experts in playing the handball. So only the field tu ndio kuna changamoto kidogo. Mambo ya rules nazo, I think deaf wako na rules zao, like for the Olympics, unapata deaf they cannot join the hearing competitions. Kama ni deaf wana participate peke yao, kama ni hearing wana participate peke yao, but huwezi changanya the hearing and the deaf wacheze pamoja, kwa sababu we the deaf tunatumia sign language. Now the hearing ni kuongea. Paralympics the same, wako na sporting yao, so because they know one another. So kila team ama kila sport ya all those disabilities na wenye wana disability, kila moja iko na rules zao.
Now, the difference between sport ya deaf na hearing, it's only that the difference ni kuongea, sign language. Yani, huyu ana sign, huyu mwingine anaongea. The fields, playing fields, ziko the same. Net, malipenye ball inaenda kuingia, iko the same. Ball yenyewe, the kg and everything, it is the same. So to our viewers, hakuna kitu yenye ina change kwa uwanja. Hakuna, tuambiwe ati sisi tusikii uwanja itakuwa dogo ama sijui nini. No, the fields are the same, everything is the same. Only that the rules zenye tunasomewa na sign language. The rules za wengine wanazisikia. Kama amefanya fault, inapigwa firimbi, anaambiwa foul. Kama huyu mwenye akona hearing impaired akifanya fall anafanywa na sign kuwa hiyo ni foul. So that is the only different language only. Ni kama venye unaongea Kiswahili, mwingine anaongea Kiluya. That is the only different. But in terms of field, in terms of everything, tuko the same. So tafadhali usifungie mtoto wako. Hapo bado na insist. Usifungie mtoto wako. Kama akona talent, jaribu nurture the talent, mulete kwa uwanja, afanye vilivyo. Our guy here alituambia akona wife. Si tusikie story yake ya marriage kidogo tu. Yes.
Thank you, Caroline. First of all, marriage is hard. Hiyo nitasema hivyo. When you are choosing a wife to marry or a person to marry, it's not easy. Ni ngumu. Because for me, after I lost my hearing, some people were like, hey, do I marry a deaf person? Or do I marry a hearing person? It was challenging for me to make a decision. And the second thing, And when I wanted to marry, I had money. And some people out there, when they look at you, they run away if you don't have the money. Wanakutoroka kabisa kama hauna pesa. So when I progressed with the area of searching for a girl to marry, I got a deaf girl I wanted to marry. I invited her to my house na nikaangalia behavior zake, nikawei whether she could cook, whether she could wash. It was very hard. It was very hard for me, let me say that. I decided to leave her. In 2021, in 2021, before we traveled to Brazil, I got a hearing lady in the university in Kakamega. She was hearing, and she was, I think, in first year. Yes, she was in first year. And that girl, when I met her, we were looking for a house. She was also looking for a house. So I decided to assist her look for a house where she could reside. And she got a house. And we exchanged contacts. But I didn't inform her that I was supposed to travel to Brazil for the Deaflympics. I left her in Kakamega and I came to Nairobi. But we were communicating, we kept on communicating, and she really supported me very well, especially with transport. And she could call me every now and then. And that's where I knew she is the one. I have found the one. Then I traveled to, when I traveled to Brazil, I didn't even inform her that I was traveling to Brazil. When I came back to Kenya, I had a lot of money because I had won a medal. And you know, the government had awarded me the cash awards that were given. I went back to Kakamega, just like a normal man, a broke man, dressed normally. When I got into the house, remember, we were not staying together in the same house. We were living separately. So that is in 2022. I invited her to come to my house. And remember, from Brazil, the clothes were really dirty that I had used them in Brazil. So I had kept a huge pile of clothes there. And then I asked her to wash for me. And then she also brought some food for me. We ate together. And then for 1 week, I was just observing how she was behaving. And I decided to take her. And imagine, she's hearing and I am deaf. She's a hearing lady. We progressed together, and God blessed us with a baby boy. So now it's 2 years and a half, and our life has been very good, living together, very peaceful. Even when I came to Nairobi in February, up to now, I've not gone to back to Kakamega. We just communicate using our phones. I see my baby through the video calls. I just call her, and I feel that I am satisfied living with her. For her being hearing, it's okay, and me being deaf, it's still okay. Our life is good so far.
What a nice story. And ametuambia kuwa ukikuja kwa nyumba ya mtu ujue unaangaliwa mask, si ndio? So unaweza kuja na kierere yako, ukose kufua nguo, ukose kuja na shauri zako. Hivyo ndivyo utaachwa. Anyway, thanks so much. And we want now to talk about sport. You have been camping. How is camp? How has training been? And what are the challenges that you are facing mkiwa kwa kambi? What would you want Kenya to know? And ni nini mnaweza tuambia? Anyone can speak. Yes.
Okay. First, after the teams were selected, everything or everyone went back to their homes. But personally, I stayed here in Nairobi and continued with the training, just waiting for the official communication on the dates that we are supposed to start the camp. And luckily, we were invited at the camp from 19th. I think the residential camp is supposed to be 3 weeks. After we went to the camp, I was very excited. My expectations were very high. I expected a lot of things, just like before. Because this is not my first time to be in the camp. But in this camp, this time round, I can say it's the worst than before. Because as I've said, it's not my first time to participate in the residential camps. I don't know how to say this, but the first thing, when we went to the camp and we were dropped at the camp, I have never seen any government officials coming to talk to us as the players. There's nobody in the ministry who has come to speak to us. So you wonder, what is really that? What is that really? Are we representing ourselves or are we representing the country? Because we expect at least the CS or the PS to just come and see us. But up to now, nobody has come to see us. We have only been with the CEO and other staff from the ministry. And they met us only once. Only once. And they did not talk to us about so many things. They did not inform us so many things. So our big question is, are we, the players, representing ourselves or are we representing the Kenyan government? Because who are we? Number 3, the challenge, we have so many challenges. I believe that previously my colleagues talked about so many things, and I want to be very clear and put this clearly. We are all a national team. If the government expects us to bring medals without a very good training field, then we wonder, how is this going to happen? We have been going to Ulinzi for trainings. Then again, we move to Kenyatta. We get to the gate, they tell us, no, you can't get in. We go to Nyayo, they tell us we can't get in. So on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, next week, some of us are expected to travel to Tokyo, Japan. And today is on Saturday. Tomorrow is on Sunday. So we only have 1 day left for us to train. So that is a big question. I would want to give it to the government to answer us. And finally, we as the players, we are all equal. We are all equal. Whether it's the hearing competitors or the deaf competitors, we expect to be treated fairly and to be treated the same. Because right now, we have been talking about uniforms, the things that we are supposed to be given during the camp. We also need the lightings. Some of the athletes here, they have never seen those lightings. How can they now just travel without training here about the use of the lighting, travel to Japan, and they expect those are the things that are there? So we beg the government to really tell us who are responsible in procuring those items. Because the days are over. Our training camp is over. And we are supposed to travel without clear information. That is not really fair. That's all for me.
Yes.
For me, what I can talk about the training camp, especially on the area of golf. In Kasarani, we don't have a field for the golf. We have to go for trainings outside, like Modaiga Golf Club. And remember, when we talk about golfing, you need to be a member for you to participate in those clubs. So getting into those training fields, it becomes a huge challenge for us. Because my membership for the golf is not in Nairobi. So that is a challenge. You must also present your IDs for you to be allowed to get into the training fields. And if the deaf people, and when the deaf people want to go and compete with other people, it's very difficult for them to compete. So they are competing themselves. So there are so many challenges, yes, but we are trying our best to use whatever resources that we have. Because when I say that we can't compete with other people because of the communication, you know, in Nairobi, the Modaiga Golf Club, yes, sometimes they allow us to get in, to train. They do allow us. But now that I'm not a member, it becomes very difficult. So the court really has to struggle negotiating for me to get into the training field. Okay, thank you again, Caro. When we got to the camp, I can say the big challenges, as my brothers and sisters have said, they're all the same, especially when it comes to the fields. On Monday to Friday, like in the morning, very early in the morning, we have to do warm-up. But you find the place is already booked by other people. And then we are like, but the government knew that we are coming to the camp and we really need to use these fields. Then when we interacted with the hearing people, they said they were not aware that the venue had already been booked by the deaf participants because there's no notice that they had been given. Again, at around 10, we are supposed to go also for training. We find the army are there training also. And you know, we have to respect their programs. Later in the afternoon, now that is when we train from 3 to around 6 p.m. And the time is not adequate. So those are some of the challenges that we are experiencing. Previously, with the competitions that we had, we only did on Fridays because on Monday to Thursday, we are busy at work. That was before us getting to the camp. So we knew when we get to the camp, we will do now the training very well. But unfortunately, things are not happening as we're expecting. So we request the government to try to reduce those challenges that we have, to ensure that they give notices to the training fields so that we can be given adequate time for training. And also, they need to find time to come and sit with us to discuss what are the challenges that we're experiencing and how they can sort them out. And just to add on that, I forgot one thing from what my brother has said. I know many people out there, they keep cows. And when you give a cow food that is the same, if will it the same every day, will it provide milk? To be very honest, the milk production will reduce. Just the same thing, we athletes, we are experiencing. We need good things. We need to eat balanced diet. But what we have seen, we are not getting that very well. Because our health is very important and it needs to be looked into. Because when it comes to training is not easy. The players need the energy for them to train very well. But we have been very shocked. The meals that we are being provided for, I wish people can just come and see and get to understand what we are going through.
Wow. The
Can
government.
I add something?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, previously, I was with the coach and the team manager. We sat down, we came up with a training schedule. We emailed even the teams, the managers about the gym. We emailed them. We emailed to the secretariat and the LOC. So they were aware that we need to train on Monday to Friday. They know on Tuesday is the gym. And then we come here at Kasarani, shock on us. The gym is closed. And there's no business going on there. We are not allowed to get into the gym. So the coach, there's one day that he had to call the person for the gym. And then he said that the gym has not yet been approved for you to use it. But we were saying, but this is a government facility. We are supposed to be allowed to use it. We tried our best. Finally, we didn't get it. But one lady from the ministry came and asked us, what is the issue? Why is the gym closed? Because we already shared the schedules with us. So the gym needs to be always open for the players. But shock on us, it was closed. But now we had to push for it to be opened, for the government to ensure that they follow our schedules. Right now, it has been opened for us to ensure that we train vigorously.
We talk about facilities. Hiyo ndio wimbo ambayo tunaimba kwa serikali yetu. Tafadhali, facilities, we need the facilities. We are not asking for anything else. We are asking for facilities that we can be able to go to the field, train, and expect from us good results. And that one we can assure you. If we get the facilities, we are able to give out good result. So to our government, najua munatuona. Now I know you are listening and to us, you are seeing this. Athletes Kenya wana request ni facilities, nothing else. Your support is in terms of come and ensure that they have the facilities. Vile too, the same thing happens to nitashinda nikiimba hii wimbo. Even in the previous episode tulisema kuwa vile tu the able-bodied person mwenye kuna wakati kulikuwa na football this year actually, and football tuliambiwa uwanja imefungwa, hakuna mtu mwenye anaingia Kasarani for the sake of Harambee Stars wacheze. That was very good, and we were so happy, we were so proud that we are taking conscious steps so that our team can perform. Now it is our time now. We were asking the same. I know time is much gone because the team is supposed to travel, but we are talking this on behalf of any other team that will come back for training purposes. We have wheelchair basketball, we have sitting volleyball. They have events zenye wangetaka kwenda, wanafaa ku travel pia. But you see, if this thing will happen to them as it has happened to our deaf person, it will affect their performance. So kindly, wacheni tupate hizo facility, because at the end of the day, most of the time, utapata kuwa as person with disability, kupata field inakuwa very expensive and it is tiresome because unapata kutoka hapa kwenda Kenyatta kutafuta uwanja ni mbali sana. So the fields that zenye tumezoea and they are accommodative, it is Nyayo Stadium and Kasarani Stadium. So we talk to the government, back to the government, that kuwa tunahitaji hizi uwanja zikuwe open to us so that we can be able to participate. I have said again and again, it can be a bit hectic. Ni late for the team saizi kusema ati tunahitaji facility because they are almost traveling. So even saizi uwanja ikifunguliwa, watatrain for only 1 or 2 days and then travel, of which haitaleta any impact into their trainings. So tunge request, it should not happen to any other team, kindly. Najua mnaona, najua mnatusikiza. Now, back to the team. Wamesema challenges ambazo wana face. And every challenge has a solution. Hatuwezi patia watu challenges, turudi tukose tuambie, tungetaka mfanye hivi na hivi. Hizo challenges najua ziko na solution. Kama challenge ya uwanja tumesema ni government ijue venye tunaweza pata uwanja. You've talked about mambo na uniforms. Pia tungetaka serikali come in itupatie the uniforms ili tuweze kuwa tuna train as a team. It is a good show that ukienda uwanja upate one team wearing a very nice uniform for their training. Inawape motisha pia, na pia inaoneshana this is a team. It is not somebody who mwenye ametoka huko nje amekuja just for training. Inamaanisha this one is a team yenye inaenda ku represent the country. When you are tulisema to the previous episode, when you are representing the country, the national anthem itaimbwa the same way ya Omanyala huwa inaimbwa, the same way ya everyone yenye huwa inaimbwa. So it is upon you people. Tuna represent the country, we need the same treatment that you are giving outside there. Back to the guest. Now we want to know, munafaa kwenda for Deaflympics. Kuna wasikilizaji wanatuuliza ati Deaflympics huwa ina happen after how long? After how many years? Is it an yearly event? And how many sports are going to travel?
Deaflympics, it always happens after 4 years. Mm-hmm. After every 4 years. For this year, only 5 teams will be traveling to represent Kenya. That is athletics, golf, handball, basketball, and swimming. Those are the only 5 teams that will be traveling to represent Team Kenya in Tokyo, Japan.
There are only 5 teams that are going to represent Kenya in Tokyo, Japan. Nasikia si karibu. Tokyo, Japan. Unanisikiza? Tokyo, Japan. So waendi hapa nyuma ya tent, wanaenda mbali. So we thank even to them, we are so proud of them that they are going to fly a flag high. The question that we asked the previous team, ilikuwa hapa tukauliza, how do you feel representing your country? Because most of the time kama Njeri anaturepresent akiwa shule, she's in school and still representing the country, which I know the parent outside there muna watch na mnaona wow, this is a good thing, this is something that pia mtoto wangu ningetaka afanye the same thing. So how is it?
Personally, I'm so super excited because even my parents were concerned, how will you be flying out? Yeah, how can deaf people fly out? Yeah, my parents are always concerned. Because I've been supporting. I tell them the government is sponsoring us with everything, and I told them we have different sports: the Deaflympics, Paralympics, and Olympics, and they have really motivated me and supported me very hard. So I'm very proud of myself. For me, it's my first time to travel outside the country. And my family is quite shocked because I am a very young girl. And they are wondering, how can such a young girl make us proud? And my family, especially my parents, have really supported me in everything. They have given me all the good things that I need. To represent Team Kenya in Japan or outside the country, it's not easy. It's not an easy thing. Many people out there, they have lost this opportunity. But for me today, when I'm here, I am very much ready and very proud of myself to be a person who is going to represent my country. With these clothes I'm wearing, some people, they look at me and they think that I'm a very rich person. And they are begging for me to give them money. And also, I'm also begging the government to make sure, please, they change our life. And how do they change our life? Number one, the hearing people out there, when they travel, they are always paid on time. They are paid their allowances on time. But for us, we must do follow-ups and follow-ups and follow-ups. We become like beggars. So please, I humbly request the government, ensure that you pay us on time, the same way you always do to other people. Not only paying us, but ensure also you do the same as you do to the others. If it's 10, let it be 10, 10, 10. Let it be equal to all of us. Not you find some are getting 10 and others are getting 12, others are even getting less. No. Because the field is all the same. Nothing is different. There's nothing that is different from this. Also, I humbly request the government, when we compete, when we go for the competitions, each person must have a role and each person must be responsible. For example, we don't know the person who is responsible for procuring our uniforms. We don't know. We don't know the person who is responsible for ensuring that we have the field spaces for training. We do not, everything we do not know. So next time, we want the government representatives to come and tell us, I am responsible for this, I will take care of these needs for you, to ensure that we get everything in a well-coordinated manner, not just one person being given the burden of taking care of us all when we are in the camp. It's not right. And I think that information will reach to the government so that they can take action going forward. And just to add, I know our parents are very happy to see us, the deaf people, going to represent the team. We want to ensure that the parents know that if they have children with disability, they need to encourage them and not to leave them behind. Because deaf people can do everything. Children with disability can do anything. They can succeed in all the activities, whether sports, whether in employment, of anywhere. Just to add on that also, like myself, I'm the first deaf lady in Kenya to participate in the golf. And I want to tell, I know people are going to watch me, what I'm doing, and I request others to come and join us and be part of our team. Finally, finally, I've just remembered one thing. When we talk about time, the government really needs to know what time really means. Time is money. For example, on Monday, we have a team that is supposed to leave. And you know, we have always been talking about the flag off, because that is something that we really need. Personally, as the captain, representing the whole team, representing my athletes, they have always been pushing me and asking me about the flag off. And when I ask the government, they say, we will do it. But time has approached. Time is not on our side right now. And we have no information on when the flag off is going to take place. We have not been informed. So who is the person responsible to inform us? Because today is on Saturday, tomorrow is on Sunday, and we have no information. Because I've always seen the hearing team, when it comes to flag off, they must be given before they travel. That is something that always happens. It's only that also the Paralympics, I've also seen them getting the flag off, but for us, the deaf people, we have not received it. So we want the government to organize it very well, because that is something that is paramount to us. Because they expect us to bring medals, and we are going to bring them. So if we go, what are we going to bring the medals with if we don't have any flag off or any flag that shows that we are representing Team Kenya?
Sure. Tumesikia mengi. We have learned. Mumesikia wazazi mumeambiwa musifungie watoto. Bring the children to the playing field. They will be welcomed. They will do something. So at the end of the day, ni kwenyu nyinyi kama wazazi, what are you doing to your children with disability? We said this show, it is not for only person with disability. We are talking to even those ones who don't have disability, because you are our ambassadors. We want you to go outside there, talk to people who have disability and those who don't have, that there is life even with disability. They can do something with their disabilities. So to the government, kindly, you have listened to the athlete very well. And I know you have you have a pen and a paper. You have written what they have said. So kindly let us act on those issues so that we can be able to flag them well. I know that when you hear this, the flagging off will happen, and I believe that it will happen at the right time. So we are waiting up to you to do the necessary things that you're supposed to do as the government of Kenya. They are not going to represent the deaf people. They are going to represent the country, Kenya country. So kindly, let us do the necessary. Let us move swiftly so that the world can be a better place for all of us. Thank you so much to our viewers. And just kuambia tu, all this that we have talked about, it is not about Sign TV. It is a team thing. It is something that the team needed to talk and see the way forward as we move on. So thank you so much to our followers. Continue following us. Continue telling us what you would want us to talk about the next show. Tutakuja, tutawaongelesha pia. Tutakuja na next time sitaacha Mololo. I promise you people that Mololo will be back very soon. So thank you so much. Continue following us. Ask us those questions that you want us to discuss the next show. And to our athlete, we wish you all the best. Go and do whatever you do to your best. And I believe that tukikuja pale airport, tutakuja na maua. Very happy that you have done our country proud. Congratulations also to be selected among the national team. It is not an easy job. it takes your effort. So thank you so much for coming even to the studio. Welcome again and again. Na mkileta medal, mkienda mperform vizuri, we will still welcome you back here and tell our viewers what you have, an experience of